What if I told you that most salespeople are actively destroying their own sales conversations without even realizing it? They think they are doing everything right. They're enthusiastic, they're detailed, and they're thorough. But there is one fundamental mistake hiding inside almost every pitch, every product description, every sales call, and it's costing people thousands and sometimes millions in lost revenue. Today, we are going to expose exactly what that mistake is. And more importantly, we're going to show you how to fix it using ethical, psychologically grounded principles that actually respect your customers' intelligence. Stick around because by the end of this video, you are going to never look at a sales conversation the same way again. Let's start with a scenario you have probably lived through. You walk into a store looking for a new laptop. The salesperson rushes over and immediately starts rattling off specifications. 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 1.4 gigahertz processor, a 512 gigabyte solid state drive, and you're standing there nodding politely while internally you're thinking, okay, but what does any of that actually mean for me? And that right there is the core of what we're talking about today. That salesperson is listing features. What you actually needed to hear were the benefits. So let's define these clearly, because this distinction is genuinely one of the most powerful things that you can internalize if you care about selling ethically and effectively. This feature is a factual characteristic of a product or service. It describes what something is or what something has. The benefit, on the other hand, describes what that feature does for that person. It answers the question your customer is always silently asking, which is, so what does this mean for my life? The laptop has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Well, that's a feature. But what matters for you is that you can have 30 browser tabs open, run your editing software, stream music in the background, and your computer still won't slow to a crawl. Well, that's the benefit. And one of those statements makes your brain light up. The other just adds to a list of information that you need to decode later. And here's why this matters psychologically. Human beings are not primarily logical decision makers. Even though we like to believe we are, research in behavioral psychology and neuroscience consistently shows that purchasing decisions are heavily influenced by emotion and they are rationalized after with the logic. And what this means practically is that features feed the logical brain, which is slower, more skeptical, and requires more cognitive effort. Benefits feed the emotional brain, which responds much faster, feeling more personally connected and drives action. So when you lead with benefits, you are essentially speaking directly to the part of the brain that actually makes the decision. When you lead with features alone, you're asking your customer to do all of the translation work themselves. And here's the thing, most customers won't do that work. They'll just feel vaguely disconnected from what you're offering and move on. Now, I want to be really clear about something because this is an ethical sales channel and this distinction matters. Using benefits-focused language is not manipulation. It's clarity. You are not tricking anyone. You are not exploiting psychological weaknesses. You are simply communicating in a way that helps the person understand how your product or service actually fits into their life. And the manipulation would be fabricating benefits that don't actually exist, or exaggerating outcomes that your product can't realistically deliver. We're not doing any of that. We're talking about honest, clear, human communication. So let's go deeper. There's actually a spectrum here that most people don't talk about, and understanding it will separate you from 90% of the salespeople and marketers out there. At one end, you have raw features, pure specs, data. And at the next level, you have functional benefits, which describe what the feature actually does in practical terms. And then you have emotional benefits, which describe how those functional outcomes make a person feel. And at the deepest level, you have identity benefits, which connect the product to who the customer sees themselves as or who they want to become. So let's walk through an example. Say you're selling a premium running shoe. The feature is a carbon fiber plate embedded in the midsole, but the functional benefit is that it returns energy with each stride, so you can run faster and with less effort. The emotional benefit is that you feel powerful, capable, and in flow during your run. And the identity benefit is that this is the shoe worn by serious athletes, and wearing it signals to yourself and others that you are someone who takes performance seriously. You see how each layer gets progressively more compelling? The most effective sales communication doesn't just live at one level. It moves through these layers fluidly, meeting the customer where they are and gently guiding them toward understanding the full value of what you're offering. Now let's talk about a practical tool that you can start using immediately. It's called the bridge phase technique, and it is almost embarrassingly simple. All you do is take any feature that you want to communicate and follow it with one of these connecting phrases. And here they are. Which means that, or so that you can, or what this does for you, or what this does for you is, or this results in. These phrases force you to complete the thought by landing on the benefit rather than leaving the customer stranded at the feature. For example, our coaching program includes weekly one-on-one calls with a certified mentor, which means that you get personalized guidance tailored to your exact situation rather than generic advice that may or may not apply to you. Notice how the feature, the weekly calls, suddenly has context. It has meaning. It has a reason to matter to the person you're talking to. This is also where active listening becomes a superpower. Because here's the truth. The same product can deliver completely different benefits to different people. And if you're not listening to understand what actually matters to the individual in front of you, you might be communicating the right benefit to the wrong person. Someone buying that running shoe might not care about performance at all. They might be coming back from an injury, and what they need to hear is how the cushioning technology protects their joints and helps them stay consistent without setbacks. Same product, completely different benefit conversation. This is why ethical sales is actually more effective than pushy, high-pressure tactics in the long run. When you take time to genuinely understand someone's situation and then communicate how what you offer serves their actual needs, something powerful happens. They feel heard. They feel understood. They feel like you're on their side rather than just trying to close the deal. And that trust is worth more than any technique you could ever deploy. So let's address a common mistake people make when they first start applying this framework. They hear features versus benefits and they think, okay, I'll just cut all the features and only talk about benefits. And then they will overcorrect and customers start to wonder, wait, but what exactly am I getting? Features are not the enemy. They provide the proof. They provide the credibility. They are the evidence that your benefit claims are grounded in something real. The goal is not to eliminate features, but to always anchor them to a meaningful benefit. Lead with the benefit when possible and let the feature serve as the substantiation. Think about it like a court case. The benefit is the argument that you're making, the case for why this matters. And the feature is the evidence you're presenting to support that argument. You need both, but the argument has to come first to give the evidence context and meaning. There's one more psychological principle that I want to leave you with because it ties this all together beautifully. It's called the picture superiority effect. And in the context of sales language, that means this: the more vividly you can help a customer picture themselves experiencing the benefit, the more real and desirable it becomes to them. Their brain processes imagined experiences in remarkable similar ways to real ones. So when your language creates a mental movie of the customer's life after they've said yes, you're not manipulating them. You're helping them to make an informed decision by giving them a clear picture of what they're actually deciding about. When someone can literally visualize themselves stress-free because your service handled the thing that was keeping them up at night, they're not being tricked into a purchase. They're being helped to see clearly what their life could look like with the right solution in it. So here's your takeaway. Every time you describe what you offer, ask yourself, so what? And keep asking it until you've arrived at something that genuinely matters to the human being you're talking to. Lead with why it matters. Let the what it is follow as the supporting evidence. Listen first, because the most relevant benefit is always the one that speaks to what this particular person actually cares about. And remember that doing this well is a form of respect. You're treating your customer as someone whose time, attention, and intelligence deserves clarity and honesty. And this is what ethical sales psychology looks like in practice. Not tricks, not pressure, just clear, human, benefit-driven communication that makes it easy for the right people to say yes. If this was valuable to you, share it with someone who's in sales or building a business, and hit subscribe because we go deep into this stuff every single week. And if you want to learn more right now, check out the description where you'll find more free resources. In the next video in this series, it is going to be one that you absolutely do not want to miss, so I will see you there.